Hi everyone, it's Justin here from Gel Tactical. Today we're here with a Lightning Blaster MRT as well as a Lightning Blaster CQB. I'm just going to be going through today on removing out the nylon gearbox and replacing it with the Lightning Blaster metal gearbox. This one's going to be very simple. Tools you'll need for this one is just a screwdriver, long handle, Phillips head, just a hammer, a hole punch, and a 1.5mm Allen key. Very simple, that's all the tools you need. So the parts needed for this is quite simple. So what you will need is to grab yourself a battery with a mini Tamiya plug on there. For this one I've chosen 11-volt battery because we are going to the Lightning Blaster metal gearbox. You are able to take those 11-volt batteries, run slightly bigger springs because it does run that metal internals. You also will need your Lightning Blaster gearbox, metal gearbox. This one actually does come with a motor already in there with a metal pinion gear, so that one's already set to go. So they're the only parts that you will need to do this conversion over to the Lightning Blaster metal gearbox. The good thing is all these parts are available at geltactical.com, so head on over there guys and have a look at the range we've got, but all these parts are available there. Now that we've got the parts needed and the tools, might as well just jump straight into it. So first thing I'll be doing, I would always remove just your mag release. For that you will need your 1.5mm Allen key. Just undo the little screw and the little spring comes out, and then if you lift it up, the back part of the mag release. Now if you flip him over, use your hole punch and just give this guy just a little tap. So this little pin right there. Now this pin does come all the way out, so if you just want to pull him out, just sit him off to the side. Then you should be able to just pull the top part of the receiver. You will feel it catch just right there. If you just give the charge handle a slight pull, this gives you enough leverage to be able to just slide the whole part of the top receiver off. You will find the barrel and the T-piece will stick, but if you just angle it down ever so slightly, it just pops off. Next thing I'll remove will be the buttstock and the buffer tube. So you will see on the buttstock you do have your handle to change the size of the buttstock. Just pull the buttstock off completely, sit it off to the side. And this is what you will need your long Phillips head screwdriver for. So there is a little screw all the way in down the bottom there. And this one will just need to come out. If you just lift him up, give him a little tap. And just sit that off to the side. Okay, so next up we'll be taking off the pistol grip as well as the motor. The Lightning Blasters are quite simple to actually gain access to the motor. It's just pulling the little lever and it opens up. I like to use a little bit of the Allen key just to pop the mag terminals off. This just does save the wires as well as the motor as well from being damaged. Once that's out, you're able to gain access to the motor. So you will see the motor is a little bit stuck in this one. I do find if you just push down on the motor and give it a couple little taps on the side, not very hard, just a couple little taps, this does help free up the motor. So this one's the old motor with the nylon pinion gear. The new motor we're going to be putting in a little bit later on is going to have that nice metal pinion gear on there. So you can just set that off to the side because that won't be needed. Now inside your pistol grip there is two little screws there. These screws do hold your pistol grip on, so these will just need to be undone. And then that one just slides off. The last thing we need to remove is there is a little pin just right there. that holds everything in place, and then you do have the back receiver pin. So you're able to, should at this point, be able to grab your hole punch and just give it a little tap. And that gives it enough to be able to be pulled out. And then this pin here, I do find it goes the opposite, the knurling goes the opposite way to the normal split pin. So the pin on these ones go this way, so I do find with these ones the pin does push out the opposite way. So if you just grab your hole punch and your hammer and just a little tap, that will be enough there to pull that pin out. Now, once you've got it all to this stage here, make sure it's set to safety. This just does help be able to lever the gearbox out just that little bit better. So do find if you just pull on the back slightly, give it a wriggle. And that one does pop out. What you can do then is grab your nice new Lightning Blaster metal box with the metal internals. And then you'll find your wire for this one will just go into the top hole here. And the two wires for the motor will just slot straight through the gap there. Don't worry if this piece does fall out, it just pops straight back into place. So once you've got the box, the wires all sorted out, what you want to do is just line up the trigger just into the hole there. And then once you've got it in there, it'll just be a matter of you just push down on the back of the box and it's all set in place. So once you've got it to this stage, what you'll do is if you push the gearbox back ever so slightly, grab your rear pin and pop that one in. You may find it may be slightly tight, but it should be fine. And then now you can pop your pin back in. So when putting these pins back in, this center pin, I always put it back in facing the same way as what the pins were. As you notice when I took it out, it come out from this way. This time I'm going to swap. There's a little knurling just on the top there. I'm just going to put it in so it faces the same way as the pins. That way you do know next time when you remove it what way it's facing. So now I've got it pushed in as far as I can with the hand, and I'll just grab the hammer and just give that just a little tap, and that's already seated, ready to go. So what I'll put back on now is your pistol grip. So you will see in there with your pistol grip, there is two little holes. So these two big holes here are the two holes the wires will go through. So your positive wire will go in through the front big hole, and the negative wire will go through the rear. So once you've got that done, it'll just be a matter of tightening up the two screws that are in there. This screw's popped out. No worries. Now once that's all done up, I'll find if you just hold the wires apart, you can grab that new motor, the new Lightning Blaster motor with the metal pinion gear on there. That one does just drop straight in, making sure you keep your positive with your positive, your negative with your negative. And then I will just bend these guys to a 45-degree angle. Sorry, 90-degree angle. And then just seat them in place so they're not going to get pinched. And then you'll be able to just pop that down. And clip that straight into place. So once we're at this stage here, what you can do is just put the buffer tube and the buttstock back on. So you will have your little piece there. This is for when you have your slings, your sling attachments. So this one, I find it does go, so the 2 points does go to the left side of the blaster. I just find it just seats a little nicer. Obviously you can pop it the other way if you really want, but you do realise it's angled the other way. So that one will just seat on there. Your buffer tube will sit on there as well. And then you've got the fun job of trying to get the spring retainer in. This one can be either your best friend or your worst enemy. So what I tend to do is I just seat it in place and then I grab my screwdriver and then I'll push it down. You'll feel it click into place, but you always can, if you want, you've got enough room in there that you can just hold the screwdriver and just lift it up slightly and make sure that the end of your screw is lining up with the spring retainer. And then you can just give it a turn. You'll start to feel it get tight. And then your buttstock back on. Okay, so what next we'll do is put the top part of the receiver back on. So as before, you will find if you try and put the T-piece on, it is going to get stuck in the way. So you will have to angle the bottom part in and then just slide it over your nozzle. So I find that the easiest way is to set it upright like I've got here. So when you do grab the top part of your receiver, it's just a matter of sliding it over. You've got everything all nice and lined up. Now you will find it will stop at that same point as the previous box did when you went to take it off. If you just slightly pull that charge handle, get it over there, and then it's just a matter of putting your front pin just back in. And then the last job here is just a mag release. So the easiest way I find to do this one is I sit the blaster personally up like this. Sit your mag release in. And then what I'll do is I will, white sitting up the top there, I'll put my finger over the edge and then I'll roll it over. That way you can stick your spring on. And it just makes it easier that if you've got your last finger there holding on that one, you can use these two fingers just to hold it in place while you do that screw up. And there you have it, folks. We've now have a metal lightning blaster gearbox in the nylon frame, and we have taken out the old nylon box. So the conversion on the Lightning Blaster CQB is very similar to the MRT. The only real difference is the removal of the buttstock and putting the buttstock back on. So to do this one, if you just pull down on your lever, pull that all the way out, take the lid off for your battery compartment. You will need a 2.5mm Allen key, and I find the easiest way is just take these two back grub screws out. They will be a little bit tight the first time you do it. Don't worry, it's just because it's brand new. So once you've got them out, you can be able to just slide the back part of the buttstock off, and then it's just a matter of removing the spring retainer. So if you take your Phillips head screwdriver, undo that one, and then I normally just give it a little shake and it comes out. And then just removing your sling mount. So once you've got your sling point attachment back on, you can pop your buffer tube back on. So if you just slide that one over, hold it up. I normally grab the wire and I just sit my thumb there with it. Does make it just a bit easier to get that spring retainer in. So if you slide your spring retainer in, you can use your Phillips head screwdriver just to manipulate it into place. And then it would just be a matter of just doing it up. And once you have that one done up, you can just put your little buttstock back on. So if you just set that one back on, use your 2 little screws that you take out from before. I normally do them up finger tight just to start off with, just makes it a bit easy so you're not sitting there with the Allen key turning and turning and turning. Once you've done that, you can put your battery cover back on. And there we have it. Your Lightning Blaster CQB is done as well. So the good thing now that we swapped the gearbox over from the nylon Lightning Blaster to the metal one, there's a few good points about that. So 1, you're able to run the bigger batteries. 2, you now have metal gears rather than nylon gears, which gives you the option there of running in bigger springs. But you also going to get a lot more longevity out of the gearbox because you are running those metal gears, metal ladder, metal any reverse latch. Once again, all the parts are available at geltactical.com. Jump online, have a look. If you've liked this video, hit the like and subscribe button. Leave any comments if you have any feedback. Also too, if there's any other videos you'd like to see done on any other blasters, leave a note in the comments.